Follow the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
And David Hardcore? Hardcore Dave?
Yeah.
David Hardcore.
You could change it up. You could be softcore Dave.
Are we recording right now?
Yes.
Let's redo that.
No. You want to be softcore Dave, and I respect that. You know? Because you know what's associated with softcore, let's say porn, for example?
It's tasteful.
Because it's tasteful.
Yes.
Exactly, yes. And you're never going to get MTV's Tanya to do a hardcore porn, but she will do a softcore porn. Have you ever seen the softcore porn that Tanya Cooley did?
No. What kind of question is that? Hell no. But apparently you have, so tell us more.
No, no. It would be in bad taste.
Wait, I thought it was tasteful, but now it's in bad taste. It's in bad taste to say something.
That's right. All right, this is gonna be
okay, Harvey. Let's move on.
Weinstein, I got a studio to run. Anyways, holy shit! How did this all start? Softcore Dave.
I suggested starting over. You wanted to keep going. This is all on you.
This is MTV The Challenge, XXX Dirty 30, episode 16, the Sinister Six, which I found was like kind of lame because do you know what that is a reference to?
No.
The Sinister Six is a failed attempt on Sony's part, the studio, Sony Studios, to make a movie about 6 Spider-Man villains following the supposed success of The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And as we all know, that was a horrible piece of shit movie, and they scrapped the whole entire idea of it. It was going to be like Vulture, think of all the Spider-Man villains. Sandman.
The Goblin.
Magneto. I don't think the Goblin.
What? He was like the coolest one.
Well, in the movies.
Yeah.
Franco, yeah. Anyways,
they wanted to rip off Suicide Squad with their own Spider-Man kind of thing.
Totally, yeah. It didn't
Suicide
work.
Squad is not good enough to rip off. I'm sorry.
The title is trying to say that CT, Cara Maria, Tori, Jordan, and spoilers Derek, and Camilla are the Sinister Six. That's such a hard title. I'd rather call it Cinnamon Sticks. I could at least pronounce that.
Well, it's hard if you have a lisp to pronounce Sinister Six.
Can we just call this the Cinnamon Sticks, please? But I would disagree. I don't think there's anything sinister about Derek. He played an honest-to-God, true, corn-fed, brought-up in America attempt in this challenge, and he got there, right? He rightfully got to this final, right?
Yeah, that is true. This is the Dirty 30. Yes. But if you look at the 6 people who get to the final, you can't really say that any of them were dirty. You could maybe make a case saying Jordan, just because he's kind of an asshole.
Yes.
And I mean, Camilla was an asshole too, but none of they're not in the final because they were dirty towards other players and fucked people over.
Yeah. Yeah, because CT, Cara, Jordan, they were thrown into the redemption because it was a bullshit ruling. You know, the producers are like, put in anyone you want into Redemption House. But yeah, they're there, and let's just get on to it. The beginning of this episode, CT, Cara, Tori, and Jordan are on a boat. They're on the sea. They're going around. They're going to go into a house. They're going to have drinks. And,
Wait, there's a house?
There's a house.
I thought they were on a boat.
They're on a boat.
To a dock?
Yes. They pull up to a dock. They get into this house, but it's only for like a couple hours. Then
it's
they
like
leave.
A little fisherman's hut? Or what's going on?
Okay.
I did not see the beginning of this episode. I was at work, so I saw a couple scenes halfway through the episode, and then I saw the ending of the episode.
Yeah.
So Vince is going to be filling me in exactly on what happened here.
Yes. Let's take comfort in the fact that Dave was, when he should be working, watching the challenge, oddly enough, all the plot points of the episode. He knows who was eliminated. He knows who wins. So, yeah.
I know the major stuff. I just don't know the details and how it happened.
But how does a man who's supposedly working in a hospital, saving people's lives, is able to watch the main points of an episode?
Well,
I call BS.
Sometimes in a hospital, there is downtime where people don't need saving, and you know what? There's a TV in the waiting room. So I could switch that on to MTV. I was switching back and forth between the World Series and the Challenge. Yeah. When my boss called me on the phone, then I had to talk to him, and that's how I missed like the last couple minutes of the episode.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the World Series basically the final of the Challenge, right? And vice versa?
Well, the World Series is the final of Major League Baseball season.
Yeah. Right? That's their
crescendo.
NFL
Yeah, it's
version
their Super Bowl. Or their,
It's the Super Bowl or their playoffs? Which one?
It's their Super Bowl.
Yeah? Okay.
The playoffs would be the playoffs in general.
So the World Series is also the final. And this we get to watch a bit of the final. So you're watching two finals, man. You're watching the World Series and the final. What were you mostly emotionally invested in?
Jose Altuve from the Houston Astros.
Yeah?
Oh, wait, were we talking about the Challenge?
Why don't you make a podcast about the goddamn baseball, man? Yeah. You could call it Baseball of the Challenges podcast or some shit. Something stupid like that. Call it that. You bastard. You
Are you mad that I'm cheating on the challenge with baseball? I also watch football and I watch UFC.
No.
And last night I watched a little bit of NBA.
What would you call the football version of your podcast, huh? What do you call it?
Battle of the Gridiron Challenges.
Oh my god, right there, yeah. I was going to call it Bart Star of the Challenges. just to go with the B part of the challenge title, yeah. Anyways, holy shit. Let's start the episode. Oh, what I was saying, they were going to the boat. They were on the boat. They went to a house. They had a couple drinks, then they left. That was part of the redemption. Remember, throughout the season, they would cut to the redemption house? They're still doing this with, like, I want to say one episode left after this one, you know? Cutting to random people doing other shit outside of the main storyline, you know? So it's them. They go to a house, then they drink, and that's it.
Let's remember, this is episode 16. Next episode will be episode 17. Normally they have 13 episodes in a season. So for them to make so many episodes, they brought a lot of people back, which made it more episodes, but they're also adding fluff to these episodes. It's not quite needed.
Yeah, I totally agree. Let's get into it. The final redemption is this episode, or the beginning of this episode. It's the big chunk of it, and this is to join the game. This is to get into the final. And this is the fourth redemption. Remember, the first one was above the water, wrestling, and it came down to a fraction of an inch, remember?
Is that when Jenna, kicked Amanda off, and then Tony and Darrell spilled off?
Exactly. Then the second redemption was an all-episode as well, and that was eating food, gross shit, running up the hill, diving into mud, hoping to find a green gem so you could pass another bowl. The third redemption was a embarrassing pop your head out of a hole and squint at a number grid, while getting lightly bopped on the head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm surprised they just didn't have a Nerf gun and shoot him in the face with a little Nerf arrows.
Cool.
It was.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't have been cool. It would have been lame either
No.
way.
Nerf darts. But then you put some sort of paste, so when it gets hit, it sticks there. Oh, that would have been
until it hits somebody's eyeball and it gets stuck to their cornea.
Oh my god, no!
But they've done similar stuff to that, where they were throwing tomatoes and stuff. They did it last season, I think, where it was trivia or something like that, or at the end of it, they're sitting there and people were throwing stuff.
That was this season.
Was that this season? Shit.
Yeah, they all stood on that wall. That was a weird.
Yeah, and there was really barely weird. Enough on the ledge where they're sitting with their butts on it, trying to hold on at the end of it. Who could stay up there the longest?
That's right. Getting hit by tomatoes. Meanwhile, where's this season taking place? Do you remember? Costa Rica? No,
it's in Brazil.
this season is in Brazil right now?
Or Colombia.
Colombia? Where's that at?
It's right next to Brazil.
Either way.
Yeah, it's in South America.
Colombia welcomes this American production team and shit, and they're looking at them throwing food so wastefully. They're like, "Hey, what the fuck? Fuck the American stereotype is living totally."
Yeah, we're a very gluttonous society.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how Colombia felt about us being there. They're like, God damn it, try not to live up to the stereotype. But it's this is the final. This is even worse. I feel like all the redemptions have been slowly getting kind of lamer and lamer and lamer, right?
I like the last one with like the eating. I thought that was cool, and then racing up there and grabbing, the rocks or the.
I agree because the setting was cool. Because the mud, it was in the sun. The food was gross. I do like. Yes, I do agree. But like the puzzle, that was lame. And now this one. Everyone, it's called snaking your way back in.
I'm okay with this one because it was just a legit physical competition where they put you above water and it's a race.
I would say it was physical, yet it was a bit of a mental puzzle where you have to figure out how to physically perform this thing. And that's what sucked about it because one guy and one girl will get into the final, but they will, holy shit, they will make the other two look bad. And that's what I didn't want to see, You
want to be more competitive.
Yes, absolutely. Let's cover the dudes. It's Derek versus Hunter versus Tony. And Derek is the only guy to understand it or / can do it. Yeah. I'm sure Hunter could have got there, but he only has one hand. That's the other thing that sucks, If I'm the producers, I'm like, yeah, sure, it would suck for Hunter being in the final because... Overall, like, how's Hunter gonna do carry those big rocks? Can he do that with a broken hand?
Have you seen his arms? He only needs one arm to carry rocks.
That's true. But like, why doesn't the producers let's think of something else where maybe Hunter has a chance,
No, they did the same thing with Cara Maria when she broke her hand.
That's right.
They immediately tried to make her climb a wall. Yeah. When Anissa hurt her ankle, what did they do? They tied weights to her ankle and were like, all right, now climb up. Yeah. Like, MTV, anytime you have an injury, they always try, if you don't go home on a medical leave, if they don't make you leave, they'll put you in some kind of competition where you have zero chance of winning.
Jesus Christ, yeah. They smell the blood in the water.
It sucks, because, Hunter this year's been amazing.
Yeah.
He's gone from a guy that I've kind of liked, but I'm kind of just whatever on. So now I'm a fan of his. He's fucking cool.
Yeah.
He's very likable. He's a hell of a competitor. And it sucks that, it's a great performance all year by him. Mm-hmm. And it just sucks that it had to come to an end because of an injury.
Yep. Yeah. But that's not translated in this particular redemption elimination is what my big complaint is. Again, it just looks bad because Derek's the only guy to do it. Tony, of course... It's almost typical of him to perform bad, He's huge and tall, but, that's it. That's all it is. But, overall, good for Tony. This is the farthest he's ever gotten in a challenge.
He's actually impressed me this year at times. Yeah. He's really disappointed me at times.
Yeah,
but
and his family.
Yes. It's weird, because with Tony, there's times where I just hate him so much, and then there's other times where I'm like, damn, he's so likable. Why does he do dumb shit all the time? Yeah. That, it's weird. And that's, he sucks you in with, his kind of likable personality. He seems very...
You sound like one of his baby mamas right now.
I understand where they're coming from. He's just very tender, nice, and loving, and you're like, oh, yeah, he's so great. All of a sudden,
he's inside me.
Yeah, next thing you know, he's making out with Camilla on the back of a bus, and you're like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And then he's talking to his baby's mama on the phone the next day, like, no, you what? You read that on Venmo? No, that never happened. It's like, what the fuck? You already saw it on Twitter. But, Tony, he lost to Ammo, that sucked, but then he ended up, whether you want to call it luck or not, it probably was luck when he beat Darrell.
Yep.
But then he ended up beating Dario. And that was he just flat out beat Dario.
Yeah. It's an honest to God win.
Yeah. Tony's actually improved some, which is good because he's kind of stunk it up, I think, the last few seasons. Now he's actually kind of living up to his potential, and I want to see more growth from him. I don't want him to turn into a male Camilla where he just ends up sabotaging himself constantly. And that's one thing I'm looking forward to in this final, because Camilla's going to get there, and we get to see her sabotage herself and fuck herself over.
Oh, really? Wow.
I mean, it's going to happen. She does it every time, right?
I believe that's true. Tony, though, he's going to return for season 31. Right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
saying
as many nice things that I've said about Tony, I'm like not super excited to have him back. I'm just like, all right, yeah, he's there.
It's just this has been his best performance he's ever had.
So good for him.
Ever.
He's improved.
Hunter, he's gone. That sucks. I want him back. I don't think he comes back for season 31. Maybe he totally really did fuck up his hand, man.
He said he couldn't feel 3 of his fingers.
Yeah.
And then they also said, like, oh, it's going to take 3 weeks until it's better. And I'm just, like, laughing at that. Like, no, it's going to take at least 2 or 3 months.
Oh, shit.
His hand was bent all the way backwards. He's probably, I don't know, he probably had broken bones in there.
Derek's in the final. Yeah.
Derek's deserving, though. He's great. He's one of the best, like, former champs ever.
He's like Darrell. He's like Mark Long. He's like these guys that they were great, and then they go away forever. They come back, and they don't skip a beat, man. They're right there where they used to be.
That's what GSP is going to do tonight against
Oh,
Bisping.
my God, yes.
He's going to take time off. He's going to come back. He's going to be champ again.
Is Derek GSP? He could be.
He could be. Both have terrible
Is
hairline.
CT Bisping?
CT Bisping? Bisping doesn't gas out. He's got good cardio.
And then
CT has bad cardio.
And then who is Jordan?
Uncle Creepy?
God, yes. Wow. Meanwhile, anyone who's never heard of UFC, they're like, that's not funny. In fact, that's, it's like, hey, pay attention to us.
I don't say jokes for their laughs. I just say jokes for my own self-amusement.
Not me, by the way. Did you notice that? He never mentioned, like, he's trying to make me laugh. Audience. That bastard. Yeah, Derek going into the final. By the way, Derek is properly called a Sinister Six. Maybe not from the season, but remember how he was at his best. Most scheming, most conniving, most center of attention grabbing was Gauntlet 2. Remember that? Where he was not at all.
Well, I'm sure I've seen it, but you'll have to.
Where he was the captain, and that's when every captain, if you won or lost, that would determine if you got into the elimination. Do you remember that? No?
Mm-hmm.
Yes? Either way, Derek sought out that captainmanship by just talking shit. He was a young guy. He was like disrespecting everybody, like, fuck you. And everyone's like, clearly this guy has to go against the captain in elimination. And Derek wins the captainship, and he holds that title throughout the entire season because he shit-talked his way into it. Because he wanted the camera time, he wanted the power, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Derek was one of those first guys ever to just never take a season off. He was like the Veronica of his day, just doing every fucking season.
Was Gauntlet 2, when he was doing that, was that the season where there was an elimination where he's going against somebody, I don't remember who, but it's like trivia. They ask a question, and then you have to run over to a pile of rocks.
Coconuts.
And the rocks have
coconuts.
And they have the answers are written on it.
Yes.
You have to find it, and then you have to like get it, like hold it like a football, and run back across the line.
Yeah, you could be tackled, you could be wrestled. Yeah,
that was amazing.
That was him against Brad, who's no pushover.
Yeah,
And anyways, Derek
that's one of my
great.
favorite Derek moments.
Oh yeah. So the fact that Derek's back, he's won 3 finals. I believe he's lost 1, and that was his first one. Ever since then, he's been great. So yeah, there you go. And then but real quick, in terms of final, CT and Derek, they ran a final together. Do you know which season? Do you know?
No.
Inferno 2, Badass's team.
Oh.
They lost, but whatever.
Inferno 2. Who won that?
The Inferno 2, the good guys won. And that was Mike the Miz, Darrell, Landon, Jamie Chung.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Well, that's because the Badass team was falling apart with Tanya and what's her name?
Susan
where they had to be carried. No.
Oh.
but they had to be carried and like literally thrown on their backs and run uphill and shit. It was Tanya and someone else.
Should have cut the fat. Jody?
No, Jody was never that type. She was never carried. She carried, if anything.
All right, moving on. Let's
This was supposed to be fast.
I know, you said like, Dave, it'll be 20 minutes. We'll be through the episode.
21 minutes and 25 seconds right now.
Okay, so. Let's get this done by 35 minutes.
So, Camilla, Jenna, Kayla, they're up next, right? Again, only Camilla figures this shit out. It's heartbreaking. At the same time, Cara Maria is like, yeah, woohoo, go, buddy, we're friends, we're an alliance, blah, blah, blah. Camilla wins. And I'm like, you know what? That is not helping how I feel about Cara Maria. I really just can't get behind her at all. And the fact that, does she deserve to be in the final? Yes. But she's cheering on Camilla, who has been just a, what would you call it? A pariah. No. She's Camilla is just hot garbage right now. No, don't touch her. She's a hot potato. You know what I mean? No one wants to associate with her.
You want to distance yourself from that.
Yeah, she's been really shitty this entire season. Remember the shit she did with Leroy. Remember any other time that she, like, talked bad to Jenna. Jenna, meanwhile, she doesn't know how to fucking defend herself. You know, it's very much that conversation we had earlier. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why be so verbally abusive to someone who can't defend themselves? And that's Jenna right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jenna, she's such a sweetheart because by default, you know, like there's no.
You can't have an ill thought in your mind if there's no thoughts in your mind.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what? I completely agree with you. At the beginning of the season, you were talking about how you didn't really care for Cara Maria and you didn't really like her. And I disagreed, and I was like, I still like Cara Maria. Cara Maria is awesome. Mm-hmm. But as the season's gone on, more and more Cara Maria keeps taking Camilla's side, and not just in a alliance way in the game. Well, yes, that's a big part of it. She's also just saying, oh yeah, we're awesome friends. And she keeps talking about how she likes her so much and they're friends and she's rooting her on all the time. Yeah. To the point where I'm just like, Cara, no. Like, Camilla's not a person where you want to be like, yeah, we're buddy-buddy. Like, when Cara does that with CT, I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's awesome. Because CT is an honorable person. But Camilla is not. She's a bitch. So when you align yourself with a bitch, it's like, okay, that bitchiness is rubbing off on you, Cara, and it's making her look bad. Because you know what, Cara, she's hung out with Abram when Abram was an asshole, and it brought her down. And now she's, associating herself with Camilla, and it's bringing her down a notch. Like, come on, Cara, you're better than that.
As an Abram fan, I disagree about the Abram comment. But going back to the three of them, though, Camilla wins, right? Jenna, she can't get there. Neither can Kayla. They can't figure it out. It sucks because, okay, well, Tony you could excuse. That poor bastard. He kind of sucks, right? Hunter you could totally excuse. He has a broken hand. So the fact that Derek is the only person to do it, holy shit, awesome. But Camilla is the only person to do it. Jenna can't get very far, neither can Kayla. What are their excuses? What is it?
Well, they just kept saying, well, they should have looked over at Camilla to see what she was doing right.
That's right.
And that is true. They should have looked over to kind of learn from her. But even if they would have looked over and figured it out, by the time they would have figured it out, it might have been too late. Because Camilla figured it out almost immediately. And she just zipped right across. And it's one of those things where if you figure it out quick, you're going to get to the finish quick. Because, it wasn't a super long distance they were going.
Jenna, for the second time now in a row, who typically
has always been to the
final, is once again gone by a purge type of elimination. This
right at the end of the season.
Right at the very end.
Wow, that's very true.
Yeah. And it sucks because honestly, I would rather prefer Jenna in the final. Even with Kayla there, I'd be like, no, I want Jenna there in the final. I like Jenna. I cheer her on. You know what I mean? Camilla, she's just like this embarrassing black spot on an X-ray. Or a white spot. What is it?
Well, it depends what you're looking at. If you're looking at the lungs, you don't want a giant black spot.
Okay.
Because that could be pleural effusion.
All right.
Actually, no. That would be a white spot. I fucked up already.
Saving our lives every day, gentlemen.
Hey, I'm not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor, but I talk to one on off of TV when I'm not watching TV, which is the challenge.
I had to talk to like 4 doctors yesterday, and they're so condescending. And it's like, no shit, I went to fucking 2 years of fucking tech school. Like, you don't have to talk to me like I'm stupid. I know I'm stupid.
You
Let's
know what?
move on and
Yeah,
good stuff.
You know, Dave, here at Battle of the Challenges podcast, we don't condescend to people. You know what that means, right? To talk down to?
Yeah.
We don't do that here.
I'm very grateful for that. Thank you.
Camilla is going to the final. She is a multi-finalist as well. Do you know the finals? I just want to put you on the spot.
Well, thanks. Thanks for condescending, patronizing me. I know. Well, she won in was it X's one?
Yes.
Johnny.
Yep.
In that was
was
like
her
in
first
Norway.
final.
That was like in Norway or something crazy, wasn't it?
No, that was in Greenland or Iceland. Which one? It was
Iceland,
right?
Yeah. Okay. Iceland, Norway. It was close enough.
It's all
But
Vikings.
I feel like every other final she's been in, she's lost.
She was once again in a final in Rivals 2, which is Phuket, Thailand. And her and...
Jemmy?
Was it Jemmy?
I think it was Jemmy.
Wow, Jemmy.
They were at
Wow.
Dream Island.
Good for
and
you, Jemmy.
They couldn't make it to...
Doesn't that sound weird
Nightmare Island.
to picture Jemmy in a final? Right
Yeah.
now? She was in a final with Camilla. That's crazy. But that particular final, if you couldn't get past that day, you couldn't go on to day 2.
Yeah.
And that was very unfortunate.
And-
I thought it was
and-
bullshit too.
Well, yeah. But if you put Camilla in that situation having to do a puzzle, she sucks at puzzles. All she does is yell at her partner, do this, do this, do this.
That's true.
And
That's
she
very
gets into fights. And
Yeah.
she does it every time in a puzzle.
Well, yeah. So now Camilla's there. Has she been in any other finals? Invasion of the Champions, where it was a shock. She lost to Ashley Mitchell. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. And she blames it on Corey.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Somewhat rightfully so, but at the same time, yeah, Corey couldn't figure out the puzzle, but neither could Camilla. So
right now it's awesome. We have an amazing final lined up for us. It's 5 champs and a Rookie of the Year. Tori, of course. And it's funny because I'm like, I really like Tori. I've made her the center of my attention throughout the podcast, and now she's in the final.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not just me saying like, oh my god, she's so fucking hot. You know what I mean? You know, he's just like panting and shit, but she's actually good. And even CT is like Rookie of the Year. You know what I mean? And so yeah, you have CT, 1-time champion. Derek, 3-time champion.
CT's more than a one-time champion.
2-time champion. Oh my god. Rivals 2, Invasion.
Yeah.
You have Derek, who was Gauntlet. No, Inferno 3, The Island 1 and only. And then The Ruins, right? Then you have Jordan, the fucking winner of Battle of the Axis 1. 2. Sorry. Yeah, 2.
I was like, I don't think he was on Axis 1.
Battle of the Axis 2. And then you have Cara Maria, winner of Battle of the Bloodlines. And I'd say count it. Champs. I'd say totally count that shit. Why is that not canon?
I think going against pros is probably more difficult than going against people from Are You the One?
And oh my god, Cara Maria and Camilla have fought each other before that. That was champs versus pros. Well, no, they fought each other a couple times now in the final. Rivals 2 as well.
Ooh.
Holy shit! So this is I think this might be a trilogy match with
rubber match.
Camilla and... No, I don't even think it's rubber at this point.
What? I don't know, that sounded gross to me.
This is bareback, motherfucker. This is raw dog.
Well, it's South America. Anything goes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. South America. Yeah, this is a Brazilian wax. Anyways,
What the fuck are we getting
but,
at?
I mean, this is a great lineup for the final. I agree.
It's awesome.
And you know what? I think it's cool that Tori's there. She's a great representative for like the new age.
Not only that, but like it's not even. You don't even have to mention it, but she's Are You the One? Isn't that weird? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're. Oh. Yeah, she's Are You the One?
You know what? I'm a little disappointed because I read a spoiler online.
About what? Not
it
this
didn't
episode.
come true. It never came true.
Okay. What is it?
Well, it was that Tori allegedly like cheated on her boyfriend Derek.
Oh really?
But I never fucking saw it on TV. So maybe it happened.
Not Derek K, but what was his name? Derek H. Or something like that?
Yeah, Derek H. Yeah, her boyfriend from Are You the One? He got eliminated in like episode 3 or 4 or something.
Hold on. This isn't the last episode. She can still cheat on Derek.
I don't think people are going to be making out in the final.
Let me finish. She could still finish.
She's gonna finish.
She can still cheat on Derek H with a podcaster named.
It's C. Not likely. Because so this entire season I've been watching it because I read like this thing on Twitter and I'm like,
has a chance.
I'm like, oh, she's gonna cheat on him. So this entire year I'm like, I've been waiting for Tori to like get romantic with somebody, and she hasn't. And then I think it might have been like last episode or the episode before where she's partners with Jordan and she's like, Jordan looks hot. And I'm like, oh shit, here it comes.
Yeah.
Like she's gonna get it on with Jordan. But then nothing came from that, and then they went on the... Or no, she didn't... Yeah, she did go on the boat.
Yeah.
But, like, nothing happened. Oh. So maybe something happened and just never made TV.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I was kind of waiting for her to do some scandalous stuff. That would have been cool.
Maybe MTV was just like, that's too much what you guys just showed us. You know? You guys it really didn't, like, try and make it sexy.
Well, maybe they wanted to bring Derek back next season, you know. And then she can reveal, I cheated on you.
He's not back, though.
Oh, he's not?
I don't even think she's back,
I liked him. What?
Yeah. But she's on...
Shit. Well, she probably got all that winner's money and she doesn't want to go
again. She's on Champs vs. Stars, though. Yeah.
Does that mean she's going to win? Spoiler alert.
No. That means she's a finalist. Remember,
Corey's on the enemy, so they didn't win.
Anyways, let's... you know what? Jenna's gone. That sucks. That really does suck. I was cheering her on. Kayla's
I was cheering her on too, but in all honesty, I don't feel like Jenna would win a final because she sucks at puzzles and she can't do any of the eating competitions. She's terrible at those.
What we've seen is she can carry rocks, right? I mean, has she been in the finals? What we've seen so far, she can carry rocks.
Yeah.
She could jump out of airplanes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
she probably does that anyway.
I feel like Kayla probably would have performed better. I really wanted to see Kayla,
Maria,
and Tori.
Right.
That if I could have picked it, that's what I would have picked.
So now we have Public Enemy #1 Camilla going into the final. But now, holy shit! Finally, it's actually kind of awkward. At the house, TJ shows up. He's like, "Hey, guess what? I'm going to talk about how the money's dispersed." So you guys sit there, and I'm going to say, "You know what? Third place." You get $15,000 each, and everyone's like, "What? Like that's you're offering $1 million, and we only get 15? Like that's super low." And then second place gets $35,000 each, and you're
which
like,
is another low number.
Wow. Yeah, that's super low. And finally, it's $450,000 each for first place. That's a lot of money.
So 2 people are getting $450,000, one guy and one girl.
Yes.
Damn.
And. Not to plug my other podcast episode where it's like the richest challengers of all time. Whoever wins this, CT already is second richest. I haven't updated the podcast at all, but CT right now is second
Bananas
richest.
is probably first, right?
Yes, he surpassed...
Because it stole Sarah's money.
Yeah, when I made the list originally, CT wasn't even on it. But when he won Invasion, he took over Wes's spot for second. Yeah.
Wow.
And like Sarah's not even on the list anymore. And that's the current list. But if CT wins this, if Derek wins this, if Jordan wins this, we're talking either second or first richest of all time. So the list is going to be changed once again. And Cara Maria, she is currently, I want to say she's the second richest female. But if she wins this, which is highly likely, she's going to be, she might be like the third richest person of all time. Like, it's so whoever wins this is that list. I'm gonna have to redo a list, man. It's crazy, man.
That's a huge amount of money for the first place person in the final. And the only thing I don't like about that is in every final they always set it up kind of weird, where they have a little competition, and then whoever wins that competition gets to add 5 minutes to somebody's time or 10 minutes to somebody's time. Yeah. I don't want any of that. I just want a straight out final. Whoever gets to the finish first deserves it, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're not witnessing any of that right now. You're referring to the preview that you watched, right? Of the final?
Yeah, I only saw like 2 seconds of it.
Okay, like I didn't know any of that. Like all I saw was this particular episode. But let's get back into it. We're almost done. We go to Salta, Argentina for the final. TJ, he's like, I'm not going to be there. I'm just going to videotape myself on an island somewhere saying like, hey, that was a cool canoe ride, wasn't it? Well, now this is what you do next. You know what I mean?
He's TJ's not showing up there?
No. He's like, I'm not going to be at Argentina at all because I've already been there. I set up the most brutal final you've ever seen. So now the challengers, whenever they get to a spot, they just pick up a cell phone and it has a video recording of TJ. Do you think, like, why do they do this? What do you think?
His passport, they would not allow him into the country or something,
yeah?
Right? I mean, that's pretty shady when they'll let someone like CT into the country,
or
but not TJ.
Could it be the producers just saying, like, listen, it costs money to fly this asshole?
No. TJ has been, you've mentioned it before this season, how tan he is.
Right.
He's been hanging out on the beach drinking margaritas this entire season in Brazil or Colombia or wherever they're at.
Yeah.
And you know what? TJ is living the good life. He doesn't want to leave. He's like, what the hell's the point of me going out there? I'm just going to stand at the top of a cold mountain and wait until they get to the top? Fuck this shit. I got my senoritas over here.
Yeah, but yeah, TJ is not going to... he bows out this episode. He's like, I'm not on the show anymore. That's what it is.
Okay, I just hope when the final, like the ending of the final, TJ's not going to be there to hand you a check or anything. I hope there is just a treasure chest filled with money.
All right.
Right?
Yeah, because that you visually understand. Like when it happened on the island, I'm like, hey, the boat got there faster than the other boat. You get out, you open the chest, and you win, you know? So maybe this is going to be a good thing. And there you go.
Yeah, that is weird. I feel like there's more to it, and this is something they did. I don't know. Maybe TJ didn't want to jump out of an airplane. Maybe that's why.
They never make the host do that. But TJ's like, hey, guess what? You guys are going to do it. It's going to be let me ask you, what was the drop? How many thousands of feet do you jump out of your airplane? Because you've done it before, right?
Yeah, I've skydived. I have no idea.
Do you remember? You don't remember? Because this number apparently might be significant.
Maybe it's higher. Yeah, I have no idea what I did.
You had no idea?
Yeah, no idea.
All right. Well, this is going to be 20,000 feet, 2,000 foot jump. 20,000 foot jump, sorry.
20,000. I think when I did it, I think it was like
30,004.
No, I'm undercutting it. I'm not going to say more. I don't think it was 20,000. I feel like it was like 13,000.
It was 100,000 foot drop, man.
No, I'm saying less than that. Not 20,000. It was probably more like 13 or 14,000.
Okay, all right.
Or 11,000. Something in the teens area.
All right. So 20,000 foot jump. All I have to say is that everyone's basically stoked, except for one person, Cara Maria. She is crying. She is like, she's totally terrified. And right now I'm like, wait a minute. Oh my God. Because a lot of the episode is contributed to this. Just showing Cara Maria like, oh my God, I don't think I can do it, blah, blah, blah. Like she's talking to the producers and she's talking to the person that's going to jump with her. She's like, tell me, how is this? And he's like, oh, this is a very good plane. You know what I mean? And she's like, talk American. You know what I mean? Okay, she's not like that, but she's definitely just crying and shit. Okay, but it doesn't matter. Cara Maria, she still jumps. Everyone jumps.
They didn't show it, but they had to have been like, hey, if you don't jump, you're not in the final. You're disqualified. Like you.
Oh yeah,
jump.
TJ does say that.
Did he say
have
it?
to, yeah, you have to finish it in order to get paid. Yeah,
that makes sense. Because like Nate, he chose not to jump on Invasion at the beginning of that season out of a plane, but like this time it's the final. You got to jump. It's even though it's not really part of the final. Like it doesn't start until after they land and then they start.
Yeah, let's start talking about the landing part because everyone lands relatively smooth, minus CT, who kind of roughs up his butt a little bit. You know? He's like, oh fuck,
trying to rocks on the key stuff.
Yeah, trying to be a donkey, drug donkey, get some shit over the border. You know what I mean?
I believe that's a mule, not a donkey.
drug mule,
drug donkey.
Oh god.
They're in Argentina. They're not in Colombia anymore. There's no more drugs.
No more drugs in Argentina.
But then we have Jordan.
But Jordan, he lands pretty rough. You see it. Like, they flip over. You know what I mean? Jordan, he lands, he basically says he sticks out his feet in order to land like that, but they come in at such an angle so quickly that he lands knee first. And they flip over, like his instructor who's attached to him flips over him.
Because you're strapped to the dude who's behind you on your back.
You're strapped on, man.
Yeah, that's more than a regular strap on. That's you have a whole entire body weight of a person behind you. So if like you fall, that person's landing on you. It's way different dynamics than just falling on your own.
Yeah, it looks rough, and the ambulance shows up, and he's in pain, and he gets into the ambulance, and finally he's like, no man, let me just walk it off. Give me some shoes. Let me get out of this thing. Let me literally just walk it off. And in the confessional, Jordan's like, I could either break my leg and drop out of the final, and that's honorable. You know what I mean? Like, you can't fault me for that. Or I could get out of the ambulance, walk out, be a badass, win the whole thing, and I'm a hero. He literally says all that shit. You know what I mean? And you're just like, is it really broken? Because Jordan starts walking on it. He's limping. He's like, oh man, I fucking broke my leg or my knee or whatever. But I'm like, if he really broke it, as a person in the medical field, did he break it? Because he's able to walk on it. He's able to run the final.
He may have. He may have.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. He may have broken something. I mean, it wouldn't be severe if he's still walking on it, but he might have tore some ligaments, something like that. I mean, that kind of speed at that angle, once your foot hits the ground, your knee is going to twist and bend, and there's so much pressure on it. He might have tore his MCL or something like that.
Wow.
So, like, when he first landed and hit the ground, I'm just like, holy shit. I'm like, well, he broke his legs. So I'm like, his legs are broken. I'm like, he got fucked over. I'm like, and all I'm thinking is, God damn it, Tony is going to end up showing up because I'm like, Hunter's got a bad hand.
That was my fear, too.
And I'm like, Tony's going to end up showing up. They're going to have to delay it. They're going to fly in Tony, and he'll be like, woohoo, I'm here. And I'm like, and I was just pissed that they did this because them jumping out of the plane and landing on the ground meant nothing. That has nothing to do with the final. Yeah. They just wanted that for the visual of it because it looks cool to jump out of planes, and we want to put that on the show. Yeah. But it's very common that when you're landing and if it's a little bit windy, like you're going to end up coming in too fast, and you can have a crash landing, and that's what happened. Especially the fact that they're not landing in a soft, grassy field. There's just gravel and rocks and boulders everywhere. Yeah. Like Camilla, I don't know where the hell she landed, but they had to truck her in. Those people, that's how windy it was. It was so windy that people like Camilla and I think somebody else, Cara, they landed somewhere else because the wind took them so far away. They had to drive and pick them up in a truck and bring them over there. That's how windy it was. And they hit a gust of wind right as they were going to land. And Jordan fucking ate it. And, my hat is off to Jordan. I'm not sure how severely he was injured, but you know what? It's pretty badass of him to be like, you know what? It could be injured severely, but if I don't try to make it, then I'm going to get nothing. And it is no fault of Jordan's at all. That's the thing. Jordan is presented with this shitty situation he's in, and it's no fault of his own.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? Jordan's able to carry on. They start the beginning of the actual final.
Yeah, TJ stops and was like, "Hey, this is
no, it's not TJ.
Exactly.
It's like they walk up and they happen to find a little smartphone on some rocks. You know what I mean? And they're like, "Oh, I guess that's it." And then they press play and they're like, "Hey, guess what? This is I think it's an Incan temple city that's kind of up to the side of this mountain." And it's very similar to other temple shit that we've seen going up to hills. Not to be just like totally insensitive to other people's cultures, but I'm like, we've seen this where it's like you have to go uphill. There's levels and shit leading up to the hill, and when you get on top of that hill, there's a pile of stones. Or no, that's the second part of the line. Yeah, you have to take a rock, run up to the side of the hill, find a way anyways, because it's a maze of a city built into the hill. You go up there, you put the stone there, and then you have to wait for another opposite sex person to show up, and then that's your partner to run back down.
Well, you can pick any opposite sex partner you want.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it depends on who gets there first, who gets there last. It's very dual 2. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then once you pick that partner, you have to, again, this is by chance. You have to find a pile of 30 goddamn colored stones. They're very heavy. You pick them up, you set them in a pile down another part of the maze. So it's
going to run back and forth to carry all those rocks to that point.
It's Derek and Kara, Jordan and Camilla, and CT and Tori. And all I have written down is that CT is huffing and puffing.
Yeah, this is high altitude. Argentina in the mountains. CT had trouble in Iceland in those mountains.
Yes, very true. Very true.
Of course, he was probably smoking a pack a day back then. I think he's probably cut back to half a pack at this point, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. But he gassed out in that one because he was huffing and puffing, and now for it to be high altitude again. I mean, we saw the same thing with Zach. He's a big dude.
Yep. Very good point. Very good point. So I'm kind of scared for him right now because this is all we see. It's just the seeds being planted. Tori, who's his partner, is like, CT, he's huffing and puffing. The weakness with CT is that he is in the least shape of the 3. I'm like, fuck. Even though that's correct, because even though CT won Invasion, which was the previous season, he's still out of shape. Who's in shape? Jordan, Derek.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
He's called out of shape, and that's how he's perceived. But every time he's in a mission, he does great.
Yes.
But it's totally not. But I guess that type of being in good shape, he's good at that stuff when he just has a mission. But if you have something long, endurance-wise, then CT... but he still won Invasion, and he beat Nelson.
But that was... we were talking about this before we recorded, was that both of CT's final wins, have been in Phuket, Thailand.
At sea level.
There you go.
Yeah, now he's in high altitude.
Yeah.
So CT does have endurance if it's at sea level, but in high altitude... He's like Cain Velasquez versus Verdum. He's going to gas out.
Yes, absolutely.
Is Derek Verdum? Maybe.
Maybe Jordan's Verdum too.
Well, we're going to find out. I have no idea who's going to win out of these 3 guys.
No, this is
I'm excited.
This is a great final. This is a great final between the 3 of these guys. It's awesome. What did I say? Oh, the only thing I wrote down again was Jordan and Camilla. They find a shortcut. They find a shortcut leading up to this hill throughout the city and shit. And it took, I want to say, CT and Tori and Kara and Derek a long time to figure out that, holy shit, these 2 are just like finding this shorter trail. And we're just going through like what's been established. Right then and there, that is the bananas factor. That is the Evans factor, where they are literally able to outthink the producers. You know what I mean? Like, they're able to find that shortcut every single time. So right now...
Are they outthinking the producers, or do the producers put that in there? And it's just up to the challengers to figure it out themselves.
That's fine, because whoever finds that out, that's that X factor that made the veterans far above the rookies in Gauntlet 3. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
The Gauntlet 3? It was stacked. At least it made sense why they were stacked, because they thought outside the box, you know? So anyways, it's going to end. We're not going to see the end of the final. It just stops right then and there. Jordan looks awesome. Despite the injury, I'm like, was it even real? Because right now, he's kicking ass. Goddamn.
No, I mean, he's still limping, and it looks like it hurts. It's as time goes on, we're gonna see how much this injury is gonna affect him. Because right now, that injury just happened, half hour, 45 minutes beforehand. A couple hours out, he's gonna have swelling. If there's a legit injury, it's gonna start tightening up, and we don't know how long this final is. Hopefully, it's not gonna be 3 fucking days like the last one.
I don't think it will. I think the next episode's gonna be it.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think we're going to see in the next episode, I think that injury may come into play. And if it doesn't, then it means he wasn't injured at all. But if it does, I would not be surprised. And you know what? Even if it doesn't affect him, if he loses, it's always a good excuse.
That's true. Very true. Like, how could you fault him for that? But yeah, that's the end of the episode. I don't like to make predictions at all. So, I'm going to say this is the end of the episode, right? Like, subscribe, comment. This was Battle of Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud
and Softcore Dave.